Gonzo on the restart. Weaves his way, fires and scores. Look at the attack, coming middle, trying to free himself up. Shot, score! Gets around Weed, off the bounce, shot, and a score. Wow. Levine with some speed. Levine fakes a pass. Levine all the way is going to fire and score. Up top, Druin. He wants a shot, and he's got it. Wow. Meanwhile, Arbusto. One-handed shot is up and in.
Got a penalty flag down.
Skip pass sets up Gabord, and it's time to pluck a chicken. Nah. But a good one-handed scoop up. Oh, Ryan, and he lights the lamp. Lowers that left shoulder and fires up the Cougar fans. Look at this.
Nice play.
Fake shot by Brunzik, and then he drills it on his way to the ground. Chase, extra feed, shot, score, game over. Well, hello everyone, and welcome here to Manchester. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you, getting set for our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. It's a rematch of last year's state championship game in Division II. Portsmouth and Derryfield, the undefeated Clippers, taking on the defending D2 champs here in the Queen City. It's a gorgeous afternoon. And this one
finally
has been hyped up for a long, long time. Both teams have been looking forward to this rematch. Not just the players and coaches or the fans, but those in the media as well have had this one circled on the calendar.
Indeed. I mean, we have been I've been chomping at the bit to do a D2 game this year, and we haven't had that opportunity. But the good news is we didn't get this game like in the first or second week.
Right.
Okay. I hate competitive games like that at the highest level of these first three divisions, and then all of a sudden the drama falls out of it. Okay. These teams are neck and neck. They're first and second in their division. We know we're going to see them in the playoffs, and this should be a good battle tonight.
These two teams have had plenty of big games against one another in recent years. Of course, last year it was an overtime thriller in the championship. It was won by Derryfield. The game-winning goal scored in OT by now senior Chili Cabot, who is on his way to play NCAA lacrosse at Mass Maritime. And then, of course, Portsmouth, they got the better of the Cougars in the 2021 and 22 campaigns when they went back-to-back in the D2 championship game under longtime head coach Chad Vischer, now in his 17th season. And, of course, Chris Hetler has had a storied coaching career on the sidelines here with the Cougars. 7 state championships all in all when you add up the D3 and D2 crowns. So both teams are very accomplished, very familiar with one another. What does it come down to here, Roger? What do we watch for as we look for some keys to this matchup?
Well, listen, I've been to a ton of games this year, not just the ones that you and I have done together, and I sit down and I look at my scorecard, and it still comes down to face-offs. I mean, possession of the ball at this level of play, because these teams are just so good at their skill sets. We got to watch what Logan Purvis can do and Nick Smith can do. Nick Smith's one of those Swiss Army knives we like to talk about. He stays out there on offense and defense. It's late in the season, though. These Fogos could be kind of tired, a little nicked up. Both teams could be a little nicked up as well because it's been a long haul here. But I think watch for Logan Purvis, Nick Smith, and then Liebitz, and our friend on the other end.
Big goaltending matchup as well.
Big too.
All right, we'll take a break. Crowd continuing to file in here in Manchester. I'm not sure if we're going to get a national anthem or not. I believe the anthem was actually played before the JV contest, which
very well could have been.
Got underway at 4 o'clock. So we're going to keep it right here as we are set to get underway live from the Derryfield School.
Let's give the JVs a shout-out. That was a 4-3 game in favor of Derryfield, so that was a nice game for them as well.
A defensive battle on the JV level. Here we are, ready to go with Derryfield in their home whites, Portsmouth in their road maroons, and there is the aforementioned senior Nick Smith, who comes up with the first win at X for the Clippers, and the undefeated Portsmouth squad is going to have a chance to strike first here on the attack. Turf field, as we know, Roger, does that factor in either way? Any advantage either way?
No, because both teams play on turf. I like this turf a little better than I like the Portsmouth turf because there's no football lines on this one, as there is in Portsmouth. But no advantage, disadvantage either way.
Everybody getting a touch here on the attack. As Portsmouth now looking for an isolation here. The defender for Derryfield is Jack Hatfield, one of their better defenders. Smith goes by him. Short pass brings it behind the cage. Now on the wing, we have a shot fake. And back up top it goes.
Yeah, so watch Zach Amend on number 24. He's their go-to guy on the offense here.
Zach Amend, player to watch tonight. To his right, going to fire, and that one about a foot wide. And out of play. It's backed up, though, in the corner by Riley Collins, the junior attack for Portsmouth. It gone by. A little bit of wind, a little bit of overcast. The lights are on here over the field, but not necessary yet.
No, but it's good they got them on early here, and you can adapt quickly as things change quickly. Good shot.
Smith with a contested offering. That one bounces out of bounds, and the foot race is going to go to Derryfield. Tyler Marsden on his way to Emery Riddle in the fall to play lacrosse. He wins the foot race, and the long pole will restart here in his own end as Derryfield looks for the clear.
It looks like Parker Liebitz has got some size on him this year, Nick. He's been in the weight room by the looks. For our first look at them this year. Got some big guys out there for Derryfield.
First touch for Cabot. He's on the move. He's got a split dodge. He weaves, fires, and scores despite being off balance. Well, he came up with the goal in the overtime session last June to bring home the title, and he strikes first here in this regular season rematch. It's 1-0 Derryfield.
A little bit different play than what we saw from Aiden Drunzik a couple years ago, where he was falling and actually twisted and turned. But great effort by Chile on that one, and he deserved every bit of that. And great placement of the shot, too, by the way. He goes on the strong side, but right at Mr. Patterson. Great shot.
That's Kai Patterson, the junior goaltender, number 0 in net. Couldn't quite track it. Meanwhile, this one scooped up off the turf. Smith now 2 for 2 at X for Portsmouth. As the Clippers look to get on the board here, trailing 1-0. Ooh. Up top for the long pole. It's Maisie Schoen, part of this talented junior class.
Ooh, watch this.
Amend.
Nice.
In traffic, scores anyway. Well, he was surrounded by Derryfield defenders. Didn't matter. He goes top shelf over the left shoulder of the goaltender to even the game at 1.
Watch what he does with his hands here, Nick. He gets bottled up with 3 guys, and he actually twists his wrists to get the shot in the placement on the corner that he wants. Right about there. You could see him turn his hands, and he gets great placement of that shot. He could have just willy-nilly shot that, and it would have gone wide, but he got where he wanted.
Smith with another face-off win. Now 3 for 3. Here's Amend. Portsmouth wants the lead. Dips the right shoulder, fires left-handed, and scores again.
Lefty.
Boy, Zach Amend has come to play. 2-1 Portsmouth. The goals come 15 seconds apart. And the visitors have their first lead of the night.
Yeah, that's how to play the game here. You go 24 seconds with the tying goal, and then another 15. Time to regroup here on defense here from Derryfield. They need to get a pole on him. Keep a pole on him. 3 total goals, 3 combined goals in the first 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Are we in for a shootout here tonight, Roger? Yeah, I need to get some water. Keep my mouth nice and irrigated. Meanwhile, Smith trying to locate the ball. It's still up for grabs, and now it is scooped up by Derryfield's Jack Hatfield. Looks for help across the middle. Brady Doldo couldn't quite locate it. Now the ground ball belongs to Portsmouth, as one of their poles, Andy Brown, the sophomore, is at the right spot at midfield. And the Clippers will slow things down here as they look for a third straight. Yeah, watch them to get into a set here, get some guys out there. Zach Amend again in on that ground ball and stirring things up in the midfield, gets possession back. We're going to call his name out a lot, as we have done in the last 3 years. Widely regarded as perhaps the best face-off man in the business statewide. No, this is Zach Amend. Oh, I thought you were talking about Smith. No, I apologize. We'll talk about him some more, too, I'm sure. I'm sure.
But yes, Amend in terms of an all-around player on that short list for sure.
Absolutely. He's figured in every play so far.
Here's Briggs Catino. He's a junior showing some speed, but nowhere to go. Finds Amend and now back behind the cage again.
Oh, I like this.
This is Connor Williams, sophomore. Back up top for Catino. On the near side with Patton.
Love what Portsmouth is doing down low here on the crease. A lot of movement. You hear me talk about that a lot in the middle. They're getting guys cycled through there and keeping the defense on their toes.
Catino. Short pass.
There
it's
it
a
is.
long bouncing shot, and it's a beauty. Lucas Patton. Talk about placement. The senior able to bounce it by Liebitz, and suddenly, after trailing early 1-0, Portsmouth has come up with 3 straight and lead 3-1.
Yeah, good defense here, actually, except a very, very late and lethargic slide out to Patton to get in his way there. So we had a full look at the screen or at the goal there.
So a couple from Mend, and now it's Patton who adds his name to the scorer sheet, and it's 3-1. Uncontested ground ball. Amend, no problem. Portsmouth wins another. Amend off the screen, draws a slide. The pass is low. It gets away from the intended target and rolls out of bounds. And there's the Derryfield defense forcing a much-needed turnover. Now the Cougars look to clear out of their own end with Mike Grunbeck. Grunbeck across midfield.
He's a big boy.
One of their bigger defenders hooks up with Cabot. And now for just the second time, the Derryfield attack is going to settle in here with 4.5 gone by in this opening quarter.
Yeah, and I would have them just get a good cycle, get some perimeter work here, give the defense a little bit of a break here.
Cooper Ketchum, one of the midfielders. Then extended stay, and now up top, they're going to let, I believe that's Reagan Cook-Moore go to work. No, excuse me, Logan Ayer, the midfielder.
Nice move.
Bouncer, too high.
Nice
Not
move.
a bad look there for Ketchum. You're right, he freed himself up.
I like what he did with his body there, too. He turned it to the outside a little bit and got the far side net glance. Didn't quite get it off the strings of his stick the way he wanted to, but he had a good look there. Good take.
Not sure if Patterson got a piece of that low or not. But either way, it stays 3-1 as we approach the midway point first quarter. You can hear both coaches all the way on the far side of the field trying to direct the offense and the defense. Of course, when those two coaches speak,
nice.
People listen. There's a shot and a score. It's the Bedford native, John Kramer, one of these veterans. The senior goes top shelf, and we've got a 1-goal game again.
It's really hard to hear you say veteran for a kid that I've known since he was about 5 years old. And, yeah, he's come into his own on this team. And him and Chile, Alexander Murray, that's your firepower right now down there. Good move by him.
So Kramer lights the lamp. And now you can hear the Portsmouth bench trying to fire up their guys after surrendering the goal. Smith looks over his right shoulder, scoops it up on the run. He's got another win at X. Going to jog past 2 Cougars, meets a third at the top, and now finds his classmate Amend, and they're going to slow it down.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Shot?
I don't know if
Good save. Not quite the angle there. And Liebitz is right there for his first save.
Yeah,
Clear, though, could be another story as Max Fowler slips momentarily, regains his footing, and his pass is true over to Grunback, who does the rest.
I can't think that Coach Vischer was really happy with that take from that angle. But he must have seen something we didn't see. So
the home team, a chance to tie here as we move towards 5 minutes to go in this opening frame. High scoring affair already.
That'll be a good matchup right there. Number 24 and 29, and the freshman for Portsmouth on defense being tested.
That's Nash Conklin.
Yeah.
Sidewinder pass. Grunbeck avoids trouble. Now Ketchum trying to go downhill. Met with resistance. Short pass contested, broken up. It's loose, and it's taken away by Portsmouth. Schoen, though, met with resistance at midfield, gives it right back to Derryfield. And now Ketchum going to jog to a stop on that far wing and get rid of it.
Good ride there. Very good ride.
Cougars still looking to tie here inside of 5 minutes first quarter. Coach Hetler calling for his team to swing it.
I think he likes this matchup with Kramer.
Behind the cage. Back to Ayer up top. Very patient possession here for the Cougars. Now Kramer.
Oh, nice
back door, back up top for Kramer. And then a high pass gets away from the intended stick, but it's backed up by Cabot. Trying to swim through three defenders. Look out.
That is a push.
A flag is going to fly. The ball is still loose up top. Derryfield trying to get to it. There's another big hit. Crowd is upset. Looks like a penalty on the way here against Portsmouth as this one finally is whistled dead.
This is going to be number 11 with a definite push. He may have even gotten a slash after this.
And there were two different hits laid out there by Ethan Lander, the junior defender. There you see the first and perhaps more egregious.
Yeah, he's going to call two. He's got 29 and 11, I think.
Okay. So the freshman going to follow him into the box. So both Lander and Conklin
illegal body check
serve the penalties here. So Derryfield with a golden opportunity to tie the game with inside of 4 minutes to go in this first quarter.
Yeah, I don't like these calls. I would take the second illegal body check. The first one was not, in my opinion, but there they sit. So no locked penalties here, but two sitting with illegal body checks.
You saw the reaction in real time on that Portsmouth sideline from Coach Vischer. Not happy, to say the least.
No, he shouldn't be. He should not be.
So 5 defenders in maroon for the moment. Derryfield looking to test the waters, hoping to tie this thing at 3. They set up Cabot. He goes low, and it's deflected. Now loose behind the cage. Bodies bumping against each other. Cabot, I believe, has it. He does. Finds a man on the wing. Extra pass up top. One more. Sets Cabot. Didn't quite have the angle here. Goal line extended. And it's back out here for Brady Doldo, the midfielder. Got a whistle and an official's timeout, I believe. Comes with 3:10 remaining. And I believe they're trying to get the penalty situation squared away on the scoreboard.
So I had it at 3:49.
Right. Now both head coaches are over there at the scorer's table. Coach Hetler pacing the home sideline. Trying to coordinate the special teams attack here.
I don't know what the faux pas was there.
I don't either. We resume. They've got now a penalty up on the board, the Conklin penalty, which is, by the way, winding down towards 10 seconds.
All right, so they did not call 2, although they sat 2 in the box.
Skip pass, shot, score, and we're tied.
Wow, that was incredible.
Ryan Maxwell, the midi, goes upstairs to even things up at 3.
That was what a true bar down is all about right there, ladies and gentlemen. This kid went low to high, about as low to high as you can get. Caught the underside and got the pop. Look at this. That is awesome. I think he got a double dinger there, too. I think it went off the crossbar and then the inside of the post.
So a man-up goal for Derryfield.
Man up, indeed.
They take advantage of the penalty. They tie the game. And that was a locked penalty on Conklin. because he's still on the board and in the box. His number is on the board. Shot, score, it's Smith. Talk about an answer.
Wow. Well, this
the
is what we
face-off
talked about.
man, he just wins it. He goes right down the alley, and he gets a bouncer to retake the lead.
Yeah. So that nullifies any EMO goal that you're going to get out, no matter how pretty it is. But this is what you got to watch out with Nick Smith. Man, he just, and give him kudos. He knew just exactly what to do with this ball. Not a good rotation, not a good pressure coming out from the rotation of the defense, but man, he found it.
No one technically shorthanded as well. There was still a second remaining on the Conklin penalty.
Wow. So Portsmouth racking it up here on the face-offs, Nick.
I believe they've won all but one.
Exactly.
Amend in a mix goes high. Backed up behind the cage by his teammate Connor Williams, sophomore. Now a double team on the wing. Amend loses it, but recovers. Able to scoop that one off the bounce around the knee. Amend looking for breathing room behind the cage. Max Fowler is right there with him. The trailer is going to come on, and Liebitz got his second stop. Swallowed up the high bouncer to keep it a one-goal game, and now 2 passes later, the Cougars have the clear. Cabot took his eye off the ball momentarily, regains composure, and again the Cougars look for the tie, trailing 4-3 as we move inside of 2 minutes to go in this high-flying, high-scoring opening quarter.
Yeah, who'd have thunk, huh? I mean, very little defense.
100 seconds. And Coach Hetler still in motion on that home sideline. Now got to crouch down to direct the attack. Slide comes over.
No
it's
recovery.
Shown right there.
Get there. That's it. See?
Shot, safe. It's Patterson up to the task. Ball is loose along the pole. Patterson in the mix as well. And his teammate, Max Maisie Schoen, gets to it, but his pass knocked down by Cabot. Offers a quick shot. And again, it's redirected and sent out of bounds by Patterson, who's got 3 saves here early on for Portsmouth.
Yeah, not a good recovery there on the slide. As you mentioned, Nick, they doubled up in the corner, but there was no recovery on the backside. That left Runbeck wide open, and that should have been a goal. He should have popped that in.
Final minute, first quarter. Briggs Catino gets the clear for Portsmouth, and the Clippers will reset as Amend looks over his left shoulder at his head coach. Amend against Fowler. That's one of the matchups to watch here. Amend so far getting the better of it with 2 early goals. Clippers lead 4-3. Coming up on 30 seconds remaining. Trying to come downhill is Alec Lawton, the sophomore. The attackman gets rid of it. Now it's Collins, goal line extended. Going to come behind the cage, look for a pick, reverse direction. Gets inside the defender, offers up a shot. Liebitz is there again. Collins follows his own miss with a backhanded attempt that goes wide, not a play. Meanwhile, a foot race and a great effort out of the cage by Liebitz. They're going to reward the hustle of the senior. Derryfield's got it. Cougars, though, just about out of time. Fowler lets it fly, and that will do it for the first quarter here in Manchester. 4-3 Portsmouth. Derryfield looks to respond when we come back. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Well, back here for the start of the second quarter. A high-scoring first quarter in the books here in Manchester. Portsmouth on top of Derryfield in this championship rematch here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. It is our Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire game of the week, presented by Beals Insurance. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you. And a large crowd here at the Derryfield School. Parents, students, scouts, even a dog or two in the crowd. We'd love to see that. A lot of media here as well. All right. Offense. The name of that first quarter, Roger. Do the defenses make any adjustments here? Or what do we expect between now and halftime?
Well, I mean, you stop Nick Smith and you stop Zach Amend, and you're going to stop the bleeding. That has yet to be seen. They've been polling Zach with Fowler, one of their best defenders out there. He hasn't been able to stop him. So you got to do something. Maybe you face guard him like BG did with
Olivia Matthews last night.
Well, that and in the boys' game they did it to Marshall Leibowitz or Lazowitz. I'm sorry, and held him scoreless. So maybe you got to do something like that. But it's too early for that.
Here's a cut and a score.
Wow.
That's a pretty feed from behind the net by Amend. He hooks up with one of his long poles, Maisie Schoen, who shows that he's more than just a good defender. He gets his first goal here tonight, and the lead is back to 2 at 5-3.
This almost looks like it's a drawn-up play. We hardly ever see Zach Amend at X, and yet they leave the long pole on there. They forget about him. He comes streaking in from the top of the box. It almost looked like something they drew up. I'm going to have to ask Coach Vish post-game about that one. That one looked very interesting to me. I'd like to see that one again from afar. Good play. Good awareness.
Either way, well executed. And the long pole gets the goal. It's the fifth of this first half for Portsmouth. Meanwhile, Nick Smith, as we play on, continues his dominance at the X. He's won all but one in this first half. His pass, though, a little hot. In and out of the stick of the intended target, Williams. And it gets away from the sophomore. It's turned back over to the home team.
Yeah, in most games that we do of this level, we're always talking about face-off dominance, and Nick Smith has taken the show. He's 9 of 10.
Meanwhile, a whistle and a timeout, Derryfield.
Wow.
Coach Hetler upset with the clear effort and decided to use his first timeout here in this first half. Our broadcast is brought to you by Beals Insurance, locations in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit BealsInsurance.com. Also by MG Sports Fundraising. That's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Visit MGSportsFundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. And finally, by the New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NHTomahawks.com and also girls.NHTomahawks.com. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you. Big meeting between the two best teams in Division II, at least by the record. Portsmouth, undefeated through 11 games, hoping for their 12th straight victory on the road tonight. Portsmouth leads Derryfield by a game as the Cougars 10-1. That one loss, by the way, a 2-goal deficit against Westwood of Massachusetts.
Right.
So that's an out-of-state loss, but does count towards the overall standings. This one also, of course, a rematch of last year's state championship affair that was won by Derryfield in overtime.
You know, you mentioned right after that timeout was called that Coach Het is not very happy, and I think he's just not happy with the effort out there right now. Having a pole that was a remote part of that offensive play in this last goal left him really upset, I could tell. And, you if you're going to call a timeout, you want to get it over on your side of the field first. Successful clear. Now they're going to settle in it.
Trying to cut the lead in half. Cougars scored 3 different times in that first quarter. 3 different goal scorers. Cabot, followed by
miscue here. Amend on the clear.
Yep. Cabot, Kramer, and Patton. You know, this one is going to stay at this end as the shot was wide.
Yeah, they're going to change up men here.
Little personnel change, I believe, for the first time. Jogging on is Thies Beelin, freshman here for Portsmouth.
Yeah, I like what Coach Vish does here in situations like this. You know, this tight game, bring in some of your younger guys, give them a little bit of experience. Maybe not something you do in a tight game in the fourth quarter, but give them a piece.
2 minutes gone, second quarter. Little rainbow skip pass. And now back up top for Patton. A goal to his credit. Going to skip to his left and is pushed back out by Kramer. Going to try it again to the right. Going to fire this time, and it's scooped up. Save number 4 for Leibitz. Keeps it a 5-3 game.
Good look. Good look there, and even a better look and track by the goalie, by Parker.
Meanwhile, Ketchum hooks up with Fowler. There's the clear for Derryfield.
He'll go.
Senior.
He will
going to
go.
spark the break. Finds Cabot. That shot won't get through.
Yeah.
May have gone off the leg of Maisie Schoen. It'll stay at this end, though, with the Cougars as Ketchum recovers.
Yeah, that's going to be a bruise you're going to show the girls tomorrow in class. That's a big one. That one hurt. I think that went off Brown, though, Nick. I think it went off number 6.
Now deep behind the net. We're going to make a move. Dominic Cerrone, he's got a score, and a flag is going to fly as well.
Going to go.
Let's see if they count it.
They'll count the goal, but it's going to wave off the flag. It was a push. It's a tech, so it's going to get waved off more than likely. The goal's good. Should be good.
And the potential penalty would have been against the Clipper defense.
Yeah. Take your pick. They both pushed.
So Cerrone,
The goal is good.
despite stumbling a bit, got the inside track and then just whipped it right over the shoulder of Patterson for Derryfield's 4th goal of this first half. It's a much-needed answer for the home team. 3.5 gone in the second quarter. It's back to a 1-goal game again.
1-goal game, and they did indeed wave that push off, so we are at even strength. Boy, Nick Smith is having his way. They got Fowler out there on the face-off this time, not Purvis, Nick. Try to mix things up. Didn't help.
A little bit of those in-game adjustments we expected to see as these two head coaches involved in a chess match more often than not.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I've seen Chris Hetler put 3 poles out there on face-offs and dump guys back in the defensive box. You're going two-way midfielders these days that are playing, short stick defense as well as offenses. No. If you got the talent, you can do it. Definitely. Good
a man in a crowd looking for his 3rd. Bounces high off the deflection. And then a contested foot race is won by Portsmouth.
I don't think you want Zach Amen doing a whole lot more of that right now in this game, getting doubled up like that and hacked at.
Scored 2 in the first quarter, both in similar fashion in a crowd. Been a physical first half.
I like it. Oh, nice turn.
Shot, though, not on target. It's Collins. Tried the bouncer. Another restart for Williams. 4.5 gone by, second quarter. Sophomore going to circle all the way back here to the near wing. Cabot is right there with him. Wants a one-on-one. Cabot not having it. Cabot going to run him over. Now a flag will fly from the far side of the field as Amend gets to the ground ball and the Clippers keep it. Amend trying to skip it far side. Smith looks for a cutter. It's Williams. Shot just off target. An inch or two high, and now we get the penalty.
Yeah, the head went back. He got up underneath the grill. This is a head shot, whether you like it or not. Right there, the head goes back. The grill goes up. He's going to sit. And he should be sat for a lock here. So let's go cross check with a lock. Legal body check, cross check. No, cross check. No lock. All right, well, they lucked out there. That's been mandatory this year.
It's the first Derryfield penalty of this first half. Saw one back in the first quarter against Portsmouth that the Cougars were able to capitalize on. Let's see if the Clippers can return the favor. As we approach the midway point, second quarter. Portsmouth, they trailed early 1-0, but have played with the lead most of the time here. As that bouncer is well wide, will stay with Portsmouth. Full minute penalty on Cabot. We're 20 seconds in.
Like the fact that they've got Maisie out there on this man up. We're seeing more and more of that this year. Long poles out there on the EMO.
Meanwhile, Fowler gets a piece, trying to hack at him from behind. Amend with a pretty good box out is going to draw the whistle.
A loose ball push. A lot of that going on last night in that Exeter-Bedford game.
That was a one-goal Bulldog win on the road. We're going to have the rematch right here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire on Monday.
Yeah, with literally 17 seconds. They ended up putting time back on the clock, but 17 seconds. Whoa.
Shot scored. Shown again.
Shown?
Well, who says long poles can't get in on the action? He's got two now in this first half. This one on the man up, and Portsmouth doubles the lead to 6-4.
Yeah, just mentioned it. We've seen more and more of that this year. We've seen Cam Brutus on the man up over at Londonderry. I've seen a couple of other folks go with some men up guys. Dover actually went with a man up long pole a couple games ago up there. You got talent out there, and if you don't have it on the short stick ends, you got to put it out there on the long or on the EMO side. Get your guys out there. Even Colby Waldron, the goalie.
Meanwhile, Fowler taking the face-off draw for Derryfield. A little too aggressive there. Knocked over Nick Smith and drew the whistle.
I'm okay with this. You gotta make a statement here by Derryfield. Rough it up a little bit. They're letting them play, which I have been saying this all season long. I love what the referees and the officials in the league are doing right now. They're not nitpicking. They're letting stuff not go, but they're letting them play. This is a rough game. It's a hitting game, and I like what I'm seeing this season.
Giving the benefit of the doubt to the players.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Smith to the cage.
Wow.
Shot and score. Got the step, faked up high, and released down low for his second goal of this first half. And Portsmouth have opened up their largest lead.
Yeah, this is all
at 7-4.
My apologies there. Look at his head movement. When this is all about Parker Liebitz watching the stick and looking at the head and seeing which direction he's going to go. He bobs down a little bit here, protects the stick well, looks down, and actually picks the far corner. I like what I'm seeing out of Nick Smith tonight.
He's been a major contributor in a number of areas, not just in this first half, but throughout his career. I believe, Roger, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's a 4-year varsity player now as a senior.
I would not challenge you on that. 4 years ago is a long time for me.
Well, actually, we had the COVID-19 situation that canceled the 2020 campaign, which
right.
would have been
he would have been an 8th grader.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, but regardless, I mean, I wish I had $1 for every time I've said Nick Smith, Zach Amend over the years. Those guys, we always seem to, they're in the mix every game.
Glad you corrected me on the math there. I was a little confused, but you're right. He would have been a freshman in the spring of 21.
Yeah, just don't talk Spanish to me. I failed Spanish. I can do math.
Meanwhile, this one broken up and taken away. Good defensive effort there. It's Ketchum, who's made an impact for Derryfield in this first half. Gets the takeaway and the clear before he gives it up to his trailing teammate, Mike Grunbeck. So Derryfield, they need one here, Roger. Down 3 for the first time as we head towards the 4-minute mark in the second quarter. Cerconi matched up with the freshman defender. Throws it behind the net. This is Dylan Klein, the midfielder, who hasn't seen too much action so far. Loose ball goes out of bounds. It's going to stay with the home team.
Boy, Lander there, the defenseman for Portsmouth. Nice chicken wing check. Got right up underneath his arms. Lifted up.
You can hear Coach Hetler calling out Maryland. That's the play. Senior John Kramer going to put it in motion. A little bounce pass taken by Ayer. Ayer, though, nowhere to go, and now it's back to Kramer. Clipper bench trying to inspire the defense as Kramer makes a move, got hit, lost the ball. It's scooped up on the move by Sawyer Bouvier. One of the defensive middies, the junior, with a good individual play there to regain possession for the Clippers.
Yeah, Brown with another good check there. So this defense has got a good repertoire of checks that they're coming up with and neutralizing the Cougars here.
Lander, far side, Coutinho, behind the cage for Williams.
Oh,
finds a cutter, a man, good shot fake, and then puts it home. Well, Zach Amen got loose. He's got a first-half hat trick as he goes low there to beat the goaltender. Portsmouth starting to roll. That's now 3 unanswered. That's goal number 4, for Amend. 2 in each quarter. And Portsmouth looking good here on the road, doubling up the Cougars now 8-4.
4 G's and an apple for him, so 5 points so far before the second half even begins, and that's usually a day for most players, but he's on a roll today.
It's now 3 unanswered as well by the Clippers. So Zach Amend, who is used to producing some of those eye-popping individual statistic totals, on his way to another outstanding performance here in this first half. Meanwhile, Derryfield, they get a rare face-off win. It's collected on the wing by Fowler. He avoids 2 defenders with a pass. And now we get the second charged timeout by the home team as Coach Hetler wants to talk it over on the Derryfield sidelines. There's 3 minutes even remaining until halftime. The momentum right now with Portsmouth as the Clippers lead 8-4.
Math is good. Writing's not so good. You were correct. 3 for 20 for Zach Amend. 24 from Derryfield.
Yep.
Got the other goal.
Well, that puts us at even, Roger. How's that?
Okay.
We'll call it a wash.
Good.
Amend 3 goals, 2 in that first quarter, 1 a moment ago to make it 8-4. All right. We remind you, we're back on the air Monday. That big rematch between Exeter and Bedford. This one will be played at Bulldog Stadium. We'll be on the air at 5:30 with the face-off. That comes up Monday. Wednesday of next week, back on the air with FNL Lacrosse, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Back to our normal time slot, Wednesday nights at 6. So a quick programming note here as we grind our way towards halftime. To recap, well, Derryfield, they scored first. Chili Cabot, just a minute and a half or so into the game, made it 1-0, but that lead did not last long. Portsmouth, a moment later, came back with 2 Zach Amen goals to take the lead, and then made it 3 straight as Lucas Patton cashed in to make it 3-1. Derryfield responded with Kramer and then Maxwell. The Maxwell goal was a man-up goal to tie it at 3. Portsmouth shorthanded. Nick Smith off the face-off scored, and that's where we were to begin this second quarter, 4-3 Portsmouth. Macy Schoen in the opening minute made it 5-3 Clippers. Dominic Cerconi had an answer a couple of minutes later, 5-4 at that point, but the last 3, Schoen, Smith, Amend, 3 straight for the Clippers, and they enjoy their largest lead, 8-4, as the clock resumes down to 2.5 minutes now to go until halftime. Kramer.
Ooh.
Nobody home.
Not
Tried to fire one across the zone, And it ends up in the opposite corner and back over to Portsmouth.
Yeah, I think that they wanted to get the ball in Chili's hands because he was rotating out of X, and he just didn't move far enough for the pass from Kramer. It would have been a good matchup on that side.
Here's Amend. Jogs to safety, and now looking to trigger the attack. 2 minutes to go until halftime. Coming up at halftime, stats, highlights, analysis. Out-of-town scoreboard watch on a busy Thursday. Keys to the second half as well. That's all coming up at halftime. Clippers have played with the lead more often than not here on the road, seeking their 12th straight. The last unbeaten team in either Division I or II statewide. As the men lowers the shoulder, fires on the run.
Liebit's got a piece of that,
I
Nick.
think so. We'll give it to him, right? He's got 5 saves in this first half.
Yeah, I think it's legit. Here it comes. We're not going to see it. It's off camera, but that's okay.
Minute 20 to go. Collins to Amend. Amend coming downhill. Fowler to the defender.
Good
to his left. Shot. Liebitz is there. A chest-high save for the senior. Now he's going to walk out of the cage. Long-time starter. Flicks the wrist. Hooks up with Grunbeck, and now Kramer going to take over. Senior is met by the long pole, Andy Brown, who's hacking away along that far sideline. See both sidelines again getting vocal. Maxwell.
Good defense.
Absorbs a check. He's got Lander up in his shorts, and now a whistle is going to give this back to Portsmouth.
I don't agree with that call, Brian Murphy. That was clearly a check underneath the chicken wing, and he did not ward there.
Meanwhile, Schoen gets by some resistance at midfield. Meanwhile, the clock here is frozen. The clock up on the scoreboard stuck for a moment on 43 seconds. The officials are going to blow the whistle to address it. So let's see what they come up with as they meet over at the scorer's table. Right now it reads 41-7.
Well, now they're taking time down. Okay, all right. That's the logical thing to do. I don't know if the number's right, but
35 seconds is where they settle. Portsmouth looking for another. It's been an offensive explosion. 4 goals in each of the first 2 quarters. Hoping for a 9th before halftime, and Coach Fisher's got something in mind. Going to call a timeout here with just under 23 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I like this timeout. I do. I like this timeout. Got a little extra break there with the clock stopping. Watch for some different personnel here. I mean, why not? You're up by 4. I mean, it's always nice to get another goal here, but maybe you see some of the younger, underclassmen come in here that are their second-tier, second-line guys, like we saw a little bit earlier with him putting some freshmen out there. He's prone to do that. He is prone to do that. So see what he does out of this timeout.
We talked about this before, Roger, but it seems like every coach in the back pocket has a few plays to go to in these kind of late quarter scenarios, right?
This is hot off the press. I was talking to my son Matthew from Bedford in the game last night. They had a man up with that 17, well, more than 17. They scored it at 17 seconds. But their standard EMO play that they come out in a normal set, they reversed it. They completely reversed the set. They had the right guys out there with the right dominant hands, and it ended up being Kaliza getting the game winner. In an 11-11 tie. But that's all he needed to say. His guys knew what the playbook was. All right, we're going to go from, I'm not going to name it. You know me. I'm not going to give a free scout out to anybody. Okay, but they went from one side of the play and they just flipped it over like the reverse play in a if you took a floor plan in a house and it threw Exeter off enough that they didn't know how to defend it, and it happened boom boom. But yes, this is how you draw them up.
Certainly worked out for the Bulldogs. They scored twice in the final 45 seconds to win on the road last night by a goal. Meanwhile, again, I believe we have a clock issue. It started early.
Yeah. It was 22. It was 22-8, I think, is what was on it.
22 and change. They're going to put 23 on now, so close enough. Final 20 seconds. Smith up top. Wants to come downhill. Little jab step.
Look at
Short pass.
Nice.
Catino looks for a mend on the curl, but the pass off target. Handled by Derryfield with 10 seconds. Long pass the length of the field. Forces Patterson out of the cage. He's going to whip one down. Smith takes it on the bounce. One final shot, and Liebitz overhead with the save.
We're going to give him that one, Nick.
That will bring us to halftime. Well, Portsmouth, they came to play in this championship game rematch from a year ago. The undefeated Clippers doubling up the Derryfield Cougars at halftime, 8-4. Zach Amend has been the star. First half hat trick for the Clippers senior. And both coaches, I'm sure, anxious to address their teams and come up with whatever adjustments they need to make here over the next 10 minutes as we get set for the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what adjustments you make from Portsmouth's standpoint. They're on a roll. They're not making a lot of mistakes as far as I can see out there. Derryfield, they've got to get the ball in their stick first off the faceoff circle. They got to figure that out, and maybe try and lock off Zach Amend and see what they can do with the extra long pole that they might have out there, and see what they can do with Nick Smith if he's going to come down the gut off a faceoff.
Coming up. Full recap, stats, highlights, analysis, out-of-town scoreboard, and more. It's 8-4 Portsmouth at halftime here at the Derryfield School. More in a moment. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another athletic program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
Isn't Shimano on? I saw Shimano was on. It's pretty easy. Halftime here in Manchester. We've got an 8-4 game with Portsmouth on top of Derryfield in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week. Presented by Beals Insurance. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you. Two Division II Titans who have met several times in the state championship over the last several seasons, including last year. It was an overtime thriller won by Derryfield. This year in 2024, the Clippers undefeated. The only team in either D1 or D2 still unbeaten at this point. They're 11-0, looking for their 12th here on the road. And they looked pretty good, Roger, to say the least, in that first half.
They certainly did, and it's not. I mean, we know that the dominant part of their game is centered around Nick Smith and Zach Amend. But I think we called every single player out of the 10 on that team in the first half for one player or another. So they're getting everybody involved. There are no names out there. Everybody's touching the ball. Everybody's getting a check in, and everybody's finding their role out there, and they're fulfilling it and they're executing it. Just a couple notable things on the Derryfield side. In all honesty, they don't have R.J. Prue out there. All right, R.J. Prue is one of their top scorers, one of their top offensive threats, and we haven't seen Alex Murray out there either. So they're missing some gunpowder out there, and that's certainly showing right now in their offensive prowess, and the lack of offensive spark that they're getting right now.
Derryfield did strike first. Chili Cabot in the opening 2 minutes put the home team out in front 1-0. It was short-lived. Portsmouth came up with back-to-back goals 15 seconds apart. Just a moment later, Zach Amend scored both. And then the Clippers made it a third straight with Lucas Patton. It was 3-1 less than 4 minutes into the game. Derryfield settled down, got back-to-back efforts of their own. John Kramer, Ryan Maxwell. The Maxwell score was on the man up with inside of 3 minutes left to tie the game at 3 in that first quarter. Nick Smith off the face-off a moment later came up with a shorthanded goal. And that is where we stood after 1, 4-3. Second quarter, Derryfield's Dominic Cersoni cut the gap to 5-4 before Portsmouth got on a run. They closed out the quarter with 3 unanswered. Macy Schoen got his second on a man up. Nick Smith a second to make it 7-4. And then Zach Amend's hat-trick goal with just outside of 3 minutes remaining brings us to where we are now, 8-4. As we begin the third quarter here in Manchester, the shadows are growing long as we head towards the 7 o'clock hour locally. As I mentioned earlier, the lights are on. Nick Smith, who had a dominant performance in that first half, nearly got his third goal there, but that bouncer a little high. It will stay with Portsmouth.
Yeah, he literally ran the table there. He was 12 of 14 in that first half. Not even close.
Well, we knew he was favored to win the majority, but to 2, Roger, I'm not sure anyone saw that coming.
Yeah, but you know what? We said that about Logan Purvis like 2-3 years ago when he first started facing off, and he was having Logan Purvis is a good face-off guy. He is not a slacker, and he's just getting dominated by Nick. And as we mentioned, they've been mixing it up with Fowler and some other folks out there, and it just isn't working.
Amend from way downtown goes wide on that bouncing attempt. It's backed up, though, by Williams. And again, Portsmouth will put it in play behind the cage.
Yeah, they should be shooting from this side of the field. You can see the sun in the shadows right now. This will be tough. Nice job. Nice ground ball there.
Yeah, Smith couldn't quite locate it, but he gets revenge. Poked it loose from behind.
Oh, sweet.
Collins able to reel that one in overhead. Goes right to the cage. Goes across the zone. And an underhanded offering there from Williams ends up wide. Collins, though, going to keep it in play in the corner. And Portsmouth again will settle in on the attack.
Yeah, it looked kind of wonky, but it was an okay take. I mean, he was getting collapsed on. He had 2 guys on him.
Williams, the sophomore, he's held his own against the upperclassmen here today. Has not scored, but has played well. Meanwhile, on the move is Patton. Trying to zigzag through the defense. Spins, lost the ball. It's up for grabs. Players trying to locate it, and there is Kramer for Derryfield. The senior gets to it, finds a wide open target in the middle of the field. That's Tad Faulkner.
Coming.
Faulkner all the way. Went wide. And Patterson, pointed at the official, and the official agrees it's going to be Portsmouth ball.
Yeah, you got a foot on this, I think, too, Nick.
I think so.
Yeah, tough seeing the monitor here in the sunscreen, but I do believe he got his right leg on that.
Unofficially his fourth save. Saw 7 by his counterpart, Liebitz, in that first half.
Yeah, seriously.
Here's
Nice.
Conklin, the freshman. Trying to find Collins. Ball's loose. And getting on it for Brady, for Derryfield, is Brady Doldo. Long pass up the middle. This is Ketchum. Ketchum given plenty of room on that far wing, and now Derryfield going to slow it down. Coach Hetler's got something in mind as he raises his left arm. Calls out the play from the home sideline. Derryfield needs a goal. Been held off the score sheet, Roger, since about this point in the second quarter.
Yeah. Give it a whole quarter here in about 30 seconds.
3 minutes in. Cerconi hooks up with Kramer. The Bedford native wants a one-on-one. The defender is Patton. Comes downhill, pass to the middle. Reeled in by Cerconi, who backpedals, lost the ball. Schoen lowers the shoulder.
Just pushes.
Physical play by the defender. A little give and go. Back to Schoen.
Just possess here. Just possess. Wow, what awareness there by Schoen.
Yeah, they're gunning for him, too. Excellent play. He's made plays on both ends. As we mentioned, 2 goals in that first half for the defender. Amend with a bouncer. Not a clean look there. Although Williams the only player back there to back it up for Portsmouth. So another opportunity for the Clippers. Nearly 4 minutes in, third quarter. We're stuck on our halftime score of 8-4.
Yeah, the Clippers look a little too eager right now to want to get this first goal of the second half, and it's showing. They're a little less patient they were in the first half, and it's causing mistakes and turnovers.
An unforced error there gives it back to Derryfield as Ketchum comes up with the clear for the Cougars, but his pass
nice talk
is off
there.
the stick there of Kramer. It's loose. Somebody lost the stick. It's been a physical game, as we mentioned, in that physicality on full display here. It leads to another Portsmouth ground ball. Amend, the senior, going to hustle his way across midfield. And now the visitors back on attack. Amend will pump the brakes, come to a stop as the Clippers hit the reset button.
Boy, Zach Amend is not afraid to be a one-man clear. And he had guys in front of him, but he wanted the challenge, and he took it.
There's Patton. Near side for Catino. The Clippers showing some patience here in this possession. Amend says clear it out. Wants a one-on-one with Kramer.
Good matchup here.
Going to walk to his right. And now start the engine.
Watch the quick slide. It's already happening. Fowler's coming out.
Yep. Fowler's going to pick him up off the switch as Amend hits the gas behind the net.
Oh, nice play.
Smith is ready to shoot. Liebitz is ready to save. Another stop for the goaltender. Scooped it low. He's got 8 saves unofficially to keep Derryfield in the game. The attack, though, has been MIA for over a full quarter as Derryfield looks to break that icy streak here as we approach the midway point third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, all newcomers in there on attack right now. Chili's got the ball. He's playing in a midfield slot here. Still waiting for this neck. Here he comes. All right. Number 7's coming out here now.
It's Doldo. Meanwhile, Grunbick, listening to Coach Hetler.
He's put in some time today, Grumbeck. He's been on both sides of the ball. He's been on face-offs.
Yep. He's had several clears to his name.
Nice turn.
So Sony picked up off the switch, given a nudge there by the defender Patton to push him out of the box.
And you can just see these slides are so smooth from Portsmouth. That's just a good hack.
So Sony.
Oh, little hold. push.
Well, Cersoni lost the ball and his balance, but he does get a favorable whistle here to keep it at the Derryfield end.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, shot, save. Patterson on the ground, helped out there by his defensive midfielder, Sawyer Bouvier, who gets the ground ball. Now Bouvier going to launch a rocket horizontally across the field for Andy Brown, who's going to tiptoe across midfield, and the Clippers have another clear. Coming up on 5 minutes remaining in this scoreless third quarter, and Coach Vischer is going to call a timeout to see if he can get his attack realigned. It's still 8-4 Portsmouth.
He's got an injured goalie too. I think Kai is a little racked up after that shot against the leg.
So Patterson is going to talk to the trainer. Coach Vischer is going to check in as well, as we have our first stoppage here of the third quarter. Our broadcast brought to you by Beals Insurance, locations in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit BealsInsurance.com. Also by MG Sports Fundraising. That's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Visit MGSportsFundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. And finally by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NHTomahawks.com and also girls.NHTomahawks.com. Speaking of girls, we saw a very competitive game last night in Bedford. BG hung on to a 10-8 win over the Bulldogs.
Wait, you really can't pinpoint the number one team in Division I in the girls' side, can you? Right now? They're eating each other up.
There's about 5 teams at the top of the standings that you can make an argument for. That includes both Bedford and BG. That game, of course,
and
still
Portsmouth, right?
Portsmouth in that mix. Of course, Pinkerton is perennially tough, and Souhegan has come back with a vengeance. So it's very interesting in girls Division I this year. And again, that matchup between Bedford and Bishop Girton, the two rivals, up on our YouTube channel. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button and do yourself and us a big favor, especially Roger, over the next few weeks as we head towards the tournament in June.
Indeed, and I love hearing anyone in our profession, if you want to call it that. I know you're more of a professional than I am. But
boy, you're showering me with compliments lately.
But I love hearing Souhegan being in the
true.
I love Souhegan being mentioned in the top echelon of whatever division they're playing in, and the girls playing 1, but the boys playing 2, and they're having a tough go of it right now in Division II. But anytime we can get the folks in Amherst in that area, involved, in the sport, I love it.
It's traditionally a lacrosse town.
It absolutely is, and always has been for 30 years, as long as I've been doing it.
I'm sure the Sabre boys won't be down very long.
Turn.
Meanwhile, Collins out of the timeout is going to cash in near the goal. It's got the Portsmouth sidelines ecstatic. And their fans who made the trip from the seacoast, they're over there behind the bench making noise as well. The lead now 9-4 in favor of Portsmouth.
This is that old song, "Give me the ball, coach, give me the ball," and that's all it was. He had made up his mind he was going to get to the rack, and he got there. And not a good slide package there at all. You don't want to slide adjacent from that far down, and he just had a wide open lane once he was in his dominant hand.
So Riley Collins cashes in. Out of the timeout. Was that drawn up there by
no,
Coach
because
Vischer? No?
I think the first part of it was, but by the time Collins got to the ball, that was all him. That was definitely all him.
Gets his first goal. Nick Smith trying to keep the momentum going for the Clippers, but can't locate it. It's pushed down on the turf. And ultimately, it's Derryfield's Cooper Ketchum. Comes up with another ground ball. He's been active here, Roger.
He has. He's fast, too. He's a Dover kid.
Tic-tac-toe, but it ends up ultimately in the goaltender's stick. Good to see Patterson and making a play there for Portsmouth.
Absolutely. This late in the season, going into the playoffs, you don't need to lose your goalie. But Ketchum, his father is the head coach at Dover right now, and my youngest son, Brandon's his assistant. So he's a kid that he's put a lot of work in, and he's earned a spot here with the attrition on the Derryfield side.
One of those kids that had a stick in the crib, just like your son's, right?
Oh, gee. Yeah, that is really well put. I like that. Yes. Yes, indeed.
Inside of 4 minutes, third quarter. Portsmouth has played with the lead most of the game. Trailed very briefly 1-0 at the beginning of the contest. Meanwhile, this one is well high.
That's something you're going to see in
Meanwhile, the Derryfield fans said that was a pass, but the officials are not going to give it to the Cougars.
Yeah. Worth a try. Worth a try.
Meanwhile, Derryfield, Roger, down 5 for the first time. Are we going to see a defensive effort here to press out a little bit more as they force a turnover?
Might be just a tad bit early for that. We've seen Derryfield go on runs like crazy runs.
Cabot whipped that one, goes off the post and out of play.
I mean, we know BG can do that. They did that in the Exeter game. They came out storming in the third.
Open here is Fowler, trying to go low. Patterson got a piece, but it ends up in the net. So that breaks a long drought for the home team, a much-needed goal coming from their long pole defender, Max Fowler.
Well, you know what? He deserved that. He has worked his tail off in this game. He has been on the field the entire time. He's playing offense now. He's been doing the face-offs. I don't know. We haven't even seen Logan Purvis, I think, since the first quarter, maybe late in the second quarter. But he has been everywhere, and he deserved every bit of that.
That breaks up a streak of 4 unanswered by Portsmouth dating back to the second quarter. Makes it a 4-goal game again at 9-5. 3 minutes even remaining. Smith wins another faceoff. The Portsmouth senior hounded from behind by Fowler, pokes it loose. Now a flag comes as Smith was knocked to the ground. They're going to blow it dead here with 2:50 to go, and I believe a penalty coming against Portsmouth.
It'll be Chili Cabot again with a cross check.
Oh, it's on Derryfield.
It's on Derryfield. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to get, and I think he got Nick Smith after the shot. Right here. Got the wrong number. It's 16. It's not Chili.
It was Marsden who laid the boom. As we get another look there, as Marsden comes up high, gets a piece of Nick Smith's helmet. It was a big hit. And they did, in the end, Roger, get the right guy.
Yes, they did.
As it is Marsden in the box for a full minute here. So Portsmouth looking to cash in, as they did, on their only man-up opportunity in the first half. Not going to happen here. Stopped by Liebitz. Ground ball immediately scooped up by the big defender. That's Caleb May, and May draws a crowd and draws a whistle.
He's going to call a hold here, I think, and I don't think I like this call, but I don't know.
It's the trail official who threw the flag.
Let's see what he's going to call here. It is a hold. Yeah, it is a hold. So it's 30-second hold. It's going to be on Schoen. Yeah.
Yep, Schoen down on his right knee in the box for Portsmouth. So back-to-back penalties here. The first against Derryfield, the second against Portsmouth. And, Roger, you're not
happy with that at all. No, not at all. Sorry.
The officials,
just the way it is,
trying to walk that fine line between letting them play and calling the more blatant penalties. They did do a good job in that first half, by and large.
Yeah, it was a perception call from where he was standing, and he might have gotten.
Ooh, nice. Catch him.
Love it.
Dips the left shoulder, releases on his way to the ground with the right hand, sweeps it by Patterson for the goal. Derryfield now with back-to-back scores. And it's now 9-6 with inside of 2 minutes to go, third quarter.
Give young Cooper Ketchum a man-up goal there. He paid the price. Welcome to the big leagues at Derryfield.
I think they were actually even strength, right?
That was a 30-second penalty, right? At 2:19 I had it? What did you have it at?
Well, I don't know, but I thought I saw two different numbers up on the scoreboard.
Okay.
Either way, an impressive goal for Ketchum.
Ben, maybe you can catch the clock when the penalty was called and give us a time on that. Give it to Kat.
All right, so Portsmouth back to work after surrendering the last 2 goals to Derryfield. The urgency is now back with the visitors. That shot well wide. Quick restart. Sets up Smith up top, and he's going to pump the brakes. Looks over at Coach Vischer.
I think you play for last shot here. There's no reason to give Derryfield the ball back. They got that great goal back-to-back here. Just play perimeter.
Coming up on 80 seconds remaining.
They got double backups in there, and they're playing almost a 4-on-6 up front. So protecting the ball here.
It'll be Smith against Grunbeck. Smith to his left, giving room. Eye on the cage.
Ooh.
Short pass tipped.
Don't be lazy, though.
Good defensive effort by May. May in the mix for Derryfield, trying to locate the ground ball. The ball ends up out of bounds. And will stay again at this end. Now inside of a minute to go in this third quarter.
Yeah. You know, if you're going to protect the ball, you got to be smart about it, and you can't be lazy either.
Smith again. Comes at Grunbeck. Looking to get the step. Finds Collins in a crowd. The senior out in front can't make it happen. This ball still loose.
Get out of there, Patton.
Scooped up by Patton, but got a whistle against the Clippers. And now a flag is thrown.
What's that?
Flag comes out late.
Must be. Oh, doesn't like that.
So what do we have here,
It
Roger?
looks like it's a procedure call. Might be. Let's see what he ends up doing here. Usually that calls a procedure. Could be language.
Comes with 38 seconds remaining.
It's a procedure call.
It's against Portsmouth as Lucas Patton heads to the penalty box.
He quite possibly could have said something to the ref that Brian Murphy on the far side
It
didn't
came
like.
well after the whistle.
Yeah, you can see. Yeah, just his body language there. He's given.
So that's the third penalty against Portsmouth. Derryfield capitalized on a man-up opportunity back in the first half, trying to do the same here in the final 30 seconds of this third quarter. A chance for a third straight to make it a 2-goal game again, but an errant pass is going to turn it over back to the visitors.
Yeah, you do not see that a lot out of Derryfield, especially when you got your 2 top guys there handling the ball on the rotation. That was a goal if Kramer could have gotten that pass from Chile.
Now Schoen going to come up the middle, find Smith on the far side. The senior going to turn on the gas here.
Now you go to the hole.
Down to 10 seconds. Bounce pass, sets up a shot. Liebitz is there. Superman in the cage there, left his feet to make the stop. Amen, though, on the ground ball. The clock is frozen. Amen continues to work, going to spin middle and take a shot, and now a flag is going to be thrown.
That shouldn't even happened. The clock was stalled.
Marsden threw a shoulder into Amen to draw the flag. Again, the clock was frozen inside of 5 seconds for several seconds.
Yeah, roll this back, Ben.
So we get a look here. Amend takes a pretty good pounding on the release.
I like the hit. I don't like the call. And I don't like the fact that this clock is screwing up on us because that shouldn't have even happened.
So that's the third Derryfield penalty. Portsmouth will look to make them pay when we come back. Fourth quarter on the other side. Clippers trying to stay unbeaten. Derryfield looking for a comeback. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Well, on to the fourth quarter we go here in the Queen City. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. This highly anticipated rematch of last year's Division II state championship game so far has gone Portsmouth way, as the undefeated Clippers have led most of the evening. Held on to a 8-4 lead at half. It's now 9-6 as we head to the fourth quarter. And we know the Clippers are going to get the Cougars' best punch here over the final 12 minutes.
Yeah, and they got to go at it. They really got to go at it. And it looks as though they're going to make that penalty stick. We see 16 in the box, and we got 6 on 5 to start. So the show rolls on.
Both teams have scored man-up goals today. Portsmouth looks for another to push their lead back to 4. Around the horn it goes. It's been a physical game, as we've talked about. A number of big hits for both teams. Patience here from the Clippers. 30 seconds into this man-up. They try to go back door, but it's broken up. The defender, Tad Faulkner, read it like a book. Gets it over to Fowler, finds Cabot, and there's the clear for Derryfield.
Yeah, unnecessary pass there when you're man up.
So Cabot, whose club's still short-handed here for the next 10 seconds, is going to take a jog around the boundary, behind the cage. Lander is the defender, and another flag's going to fly as Lander takes it away from him, but was a little too aggressive there for the officials' liking. It's kind of the opposite, Roger, of what we saw in the first half. We saw one penalty each way before the break, but now several.
If anything, this is a
last
push.
13 or so minutes.
Illegal body check?
Let's get another look.
Listen, I'm sorry about that. There's no illegal body check there. Did he graze his helmet? Is that what I'm missing? Did he get his cage? Coach Vish is not happy, I can tell you that.
Lander to the box. Lander's played well. We're going to have to swallow the 4th penalty of the night for Portsmouth. So Derryfield trailed by as many as 5. They scored the last 2 to close out the third quarter. Looking to pick up where they left off. Make it a 2-goal game again. A man-up opportunity for the next now 45 seconds. And again, the vocal leader of this program, Coach Hetler, trying to direct the attack in real time. There's a shot. Ketchum goes top shelf.
All right.
Shot and score, his second goal of the second half. Cooper Ketchum makes it a 2-goal game at 9-7.
Mr. Ketchum has found his place on the EMO lineup here. That's 2 back-to-back goals for him on a man-up situation, and that was a rocket. He just stepped into this thing and let it rip. Blows it right by him.
So we've got ourselves a 2-goal game again. Portsmouth at one point scored 4 unanswered goals. That bridged the second and third quarters. Since then, 3 in a row.
Oh, we got mixes up
by Derryfield.
All over the place here. Men going left and right. Okay. We're 6 on. We're 10 on 10 again here, I think. No, we're not. That was a lock. All right, so.
Yep, still an opportunity for Derryfield. However, Nick Smith has been unbelievable at the faceoff X. Wins another. Meanwhile, this one turned over in the corner. The sophomore Williams just couldn't quite reel it into the stick, ran out of real estate. And now Derryfield out of their own end with 15 seconds remaining on the man up, looks for the clear. Nearly 2 minutes gone by, fourth quarter. Sky's starting to darken here in southern New Hampshire. The lights are on in Manchester. Temperature's dropping a little bit. Derryfield looks to cut the lead in half.
Nice play.
There it is.
Beauty.
Oh, that pass goes across the zone, and it's put home. That's Ryan Maxwell, his second goal. Scored back in the first quarter. And all of a sudden, Derryfield is red hot. They're within 1 at 9-8.
Well, there's Kramer getting into the action finally. We haven't talked about him since the first quarter, getting into the offensive mix here. But what a great cross-crease pass here. Watch this, and they're just standing. What's Portsmouth doing? Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Guy with the ball, remember?
I thought it was a pretty well-timed and accurate pass there.
Indeed.
And put home on the other side by Maxwell to make it a one-score game. And now a pass is tipped.
Oh.
Derryfield trying to get it out of their own end. Instead, the ball remains up for grabs here on the near side. It's batted out of the air. Collins in the mix for Portsmouth. Fowler is there for Derryfield, and it's the long pole senior who escapes with possession for the Cougars. Full speed ahead along the near sideline. Hooks up with Grunbeck. Grunbeck, after having it initially, picks it up off the bounce, and that's going to lead to a Coach Hetler timeout. Home fans are feeling it. The momentum with the home team is Derryfield in the midst of a 3-0 run. Hoping the fourth will be the charm here coming up as they look to tie it coming out of this timeout.
Yeah, well, we talked about a run, and here it is. We're right in the middle of the run, and they've scored, 4 straight according to my scorecard here. So when it was 9-8.
Oh, you're right. It is 4 in a row.
Yeah, so 9-8, and
yep.
Boy,
it was 9-4, now 9-8.
Yep. So they've put it together here. So
yeah.
They're within 1. Good timeout here. I like it. He's got another one in his back pocket to use if he needs it as things, dwindle down to the end of the clock. But this is where you want to kind of pull it together.
If you're just joining us, we had a back and forth first quarter. Portsmouth a slight lead going into the second, 4-3. They extended that lead to 7-4 at halftime. And the high water mark came about midway through the third quarter when they led 9-4. But since then, momentum is flipped. And Derryfield riding that wave right now to 4 straight. 2 late in the third quarter, 2 to start this fourth quarter. And now are potentially 1 shot away from tying this game for the first time since back in the first quarter.
Yeah, and looking at my scorecard, we had 2 penalties in the first half, 1 for each side total. And now we're running into a 5 penalty half.
Mm-hmm.
And the EMO goals are starting to materialize for Derryfield. And if anything, Portsmouth has got to settle down a little bit here and just start playing some smart ball and not losing the ball and not turning it over and, just keep it out of Derryfield's hands. And they got to stop the run right now.
A battle of behemoths here in Division II. Portsmouth unbeaten at the top of the standings, 11-0. Derryfield right behind them at 10-1. Of course, these two teams have met twice in the last 3 seasons in the state championship game. And potentially could do it again for the 3rd time in 4 years next month. Meanwhile, out of the timeout, let's see what Coach Hetler's got in mind as the Cougars are going to get it over to Ketchum, who's been red hot. Going to rifle one here near side, and now it's the sophomore. Williams spinning, trying to evade Schoen, gets inside, it's poke loose. Now it's up for grabs at the top of the slot, still trying to locate it. One player goes down, Ketchum wanted a whistle, and he will get one. That was the trail official who made the call. Some of the Clipper fans unhappy. And there's quite a contingent of Portsmouth faithful who made the trip from the seacoast. But this one goes the home team's way, Derryfield. Another chance to tie here with 3.5 gone by fourth quarter. Ketchum going to jog behind the cage. He's given room by the defender, Bouvier. Bouvier inviting the challenge. Here comes Ketchum. Little shake and bake, now goal line extended far side. Bouvier not giving any ground. Now Ketchum going to whirl, and there's the save by Patterson.
Like it. Love the turn.
Goaltender not fooled. The junior had his eye on it. Now it's 7 saves unofficially, and that's a long outlet pass as well that's on target.
No look.
Here comes Catino. But ultimately, the junior thinks better of it and pulls it back to the corner.
Yeah, this is the right play.
Clippers looking for breathing room. Out in front, 9-8. We've not seen a Portsmouth goal since about the 5-minute mark in the third quarter. So that's the game's longest drought for them.
Exactly. Yeah, 4:41.
Inside of 7.5 to go.
They started getting sloppy, Nick. They did. They started turning over, and they were getting lazy, and that showed.
But the Cougars' defense elevated their play as well.
They indeed.
Meanwhile, Smith, nowhere to go, shut down. Looks up with Patton. Looks for a pick from Smith. Patton to his left.
Why not?
Whirl one and score. Well, he froze the defender, John Kramer, for just a split second. And that was just long enough to get it off. Pretty goal there. That's number 2 for Lucas Patton. Portsmouth ends the scoring drought. They double the lead now to 10-8 with just over 5 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, he even froze Liebitz. Liebitz was screened, number 1. But, by the time he even caught up to that, the ball was already targeted for that side of the net. Watch the screen here. Yeah. Parker's trying to look through Kramer, and he couldn't see it.
Patton's played a good two-way game today.
Yeah.
That's his second goal. Meanwhile, Smith, another face-off win. Quick pass for Schoen. The long pole loses it. Met by his counterpart, Fowler, who comes up with the ground ball at knee level for Derryfield. Flicks it over to Grunbeck. And the Cougars are in business as we tick down towards the midway point of this fourth quarter. Meanwhile, Schoen harassing Grunbeck. Grunbeck, though, is not going to yield. As he tiptoes here near side. Takes another pop. Finally gets rid of it. Pass, though, juggled by Kramer. Able to reel it in from behind.
Oh, you got to isolate here, Coach. Yeah, he's calling for it.
Kramer against Bouvier. Bouvier's been up to the task here in this second half.
Oh, no, yeah, there we go.
They're going to put the long pole on him.
Yeah, you saw the match, but he had time to. Oh, nice turn.
Going wide.
Oh, Patterson there.
Yep.
Patterson's there.
That's a heady play by the junior, but no. The officials are going to keep it with Derryfield. That one neck and neck.
Wow.
And again, the Clipper fans not happy. Good hustle by Derryfield's Logan Dyer, who ultimately makes the difference for the home team. Meanwhile, we're past the midway point. We get another long shot and another foot race behind the net. That again is won by Derryfield, this time by Sarsoni. Sarsoni will put it in play. Far side, it's Ketchum. And back out for Ayer. Quickly back to Ketchum. Coming downhill. Gets the step.
Rip.
Shot on the run. Not happening. Stopped overhead by Patterson, his 8th save. Big one there for Portsmouth as it stays a 2-goal game at 10-8. Coming up at 5 minutes. Meanwhile, Portsmouth, they're going to get it over to Schoen. He's going to approach midfield before he passes up the line to Lander. Bouvier is going to find Collins, and now it's in the opposite corner for Catino. We move inside of 5 minutes. Meanwhile, Patton, the trailer, pulls it in, gets rid of it immediately. And Catino got to jog his way back to the near side, deep behind the net, shadowed by the defender, Dyer. Now going to attack Dyer with a drop step, comes left, draws a slide. Nobody open on the cut. Reverse direction, goes right to the cage, and scores. Briggs Catino paid the price on the release. It didn't matter. The Clippers pushed the lead for now to 3, but hang on as the officials talk it over.
Yeah, this is a good goal.
He step in the crease.
He's the
Is that the discussion?
I
got buried there, as you can see on the replay by the defender, Marsden.
He's in the air. He's not in the crease. The ball's released.
Yep.
He's not in the, now he's in the crease. The ball's in the net. It's a good goal. It's a good goal. It's a good goal. And they're going to wave it off. Unbelievable.
Well, you and I have the benefit of the technology here, the replay in front of us. Such a bang-bang play, but it goes against Portsmouth in this case.
I'll give them credit. At least they did consult each other, and they didn't just go forward without talking about it first.
So it stays 10-8.
Wow.
And now it's 10-9. Cabot over the shoulder. Scored the game's first goal, and now checks in again with just over 4 minutes to go in regulation. It's 10-9.
Well, I know at least 2 coaches in NHIAA. They're going to be watching this broadcast later on tonight with all the extra calls we've had here tonight and the back and forth that we've had. If not for their own peace of mind, but just to see.
That's a tough goal.
It's a great goal, quite frankly. I mean, we've seen Chile do that before.
Yeah. He's had a storied career, really, when you break it down. He's been a part of the program from day one. And comes up big here as a senior.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Smith.
That's a hack. That's
being harassed from behind, forced to give it up. Amend has it. He's met by Fowler. Going to pull it out as we go inside of 4 minutes to go. Clippers in no hurry, looking to protect this 1-goal lead. Roger, I believe I've asked you before. I'm going to ask you again anyway. That fine line between stepping on the gas, so to speak, looking for a goal versus burning clock here. How do you walk that line if you're Portsmouth?
I would be going to the goal. There's plenty of game left. Each team has got a timeout.
This one stolen.
Oh, that's going to be a flag.
Doldo got leveled. Marsden picks it up. There's a penalty on the way against Portsmouth. Marsden's got the clear. Kramer drops the pass. It's scooped up by Schoen.
There is no flag.
Play on. I thought I saw a flag.
It should have been.
Now Smith is knocked down by Marsden, who immediately regrets it. We do get a whistle here. Well, fans for both teams upset.
Coach Fisher is beside himself over there.
Yeah, had to be restrained. Team's going to huddle up here. There's 3:15 to go. I believe we had a timeout just before that bone-rattling hit a moment ago. Officials again will take the time to chat here, but there is a timeout on the field. 3:15 to go. It remains a 10-9 game.
Yeah, there was so much confusion going on here at the 50. That should have been, he blindsided him. That's an illegal body check all day long. But
so Amend, I guess, gets away with one there.
He got away with one, but I want to see what happens. If you can roll this, Ben, keep
all
it
the way
keep
to
it
the
rolling.
Whistle.
Yeah, all the way to the half field. It looked like that. I thought it was over and back. That's what the whistle was. Nope, he cut it short right there, but
close. It looked like Smith was kind of straddling that line.
Yeah. But I don't even know who called the timeout here at this point, so we'll see when the ball comes back in play here.
Going to get another look here.
A lot of confusion here. So
see Smith there. He's well over the line.
All right. Yeah, that's a push right there.
On Marsden.
Could have been a cross check.
Looks like Marsden showed some regret after making the hit. He looked skyward.
So we got possession. Fisher's over there calling timeout. That's a penalty. All right, so it's a Portsmouth timeout at this point.
No penalty.
No penalty. No flag. Should have been a flag here. Should have been a flag here.
Instead, it'll be Clipper possession, 3:15 to go. Even strength.
Yes.
Coming up after this one, full recap, stats, highlights, analysis. Plus Bishop Girton taking on one of the better teams in New England, in the Zavarian brothers.
Do we have an update?
We do, but we're going to wait until after the game to get it.
Were you the teaser in high school?
That's what's called a tease in the business.
Don't I know.
10-9.
You're very good at it, too.
Here we go. Yeah, that drives Steve nuts in the fall, too.
Especially when my phone's down to like 10% and I can't Twitter or social media anything right now.
All right, Portsmouth's got it. Now, Roger, I think Derryfield's got to press out a bit, right?
They have to. Yeah, you saw that starting here during this whole melee because you saw Chile coming out to the midfield line, covering a midfielder. So, yes, they do.
Inside of 3 minutes now. Clock becoming bigger and bigger. Tick, 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 down to 2:40.
Yeah, but we all know that this is not a safe lead by any means.
Nope.
Not with these two teams.
Coutinho.
Not with their history.
No. They've met several times over the last decade for the championship, including last June.
But I like what Portsmouth is doing here. They're forcing the Cougars to come out and play them.
Yep.
No clock, no shot clock here.
Coach Fisher watching with his arms crossed.
Exactly.
Coach Hetler down on his, hunched over, down, hands on his knees here, hoping the defense can come up.
Bang it
with
again.
A play.
Perfect.
Down to 2 minutes. Already a minute 15 burned on this possession.
Yeah, watch for the stall call here. He's already called it. He wants him in the box. Now
Coutinho,
it's a stall.
Shot, and there's Liebitz.
All right, watch what happens here.
His 10th save of the night, and none bigger. The senior going to spark the break here to the near side. Marsden fakes a pass. His bouncer, though, nearly intercepted. Instead, it does get through to Cabot. Cabot absorbs a check and recovers after dropping the ball. He's got a mend all over him, and now a timeout is called by Coach Hetler.
Final timeout.
It comes with 91 seconds remaining in regulation.
Hey, in my opinion, give the ball to Ketchum.
Mm-hmm.
He's your hot hand right here in the second half. 2 goals, 2 EMO goals. Give that boy get him on the outside. Let him get a rip here. But you started off with your guns, with your top guys, and that's going to be Kramer and Chili Cabot. I'm sure they're going to figure in that how they set that up. I mean, the one time that they had to score a goal, and they did one hell of a job in getting it to the rack when they had to in the second quarter of the first half. They had Kramer behind, and they had Chili on this side. Watch for maybe a similar configuration, but Ketchum is deadly on the goalie's right-hand side, so maybe they'll set something up with him. And Ketchum's got his back to us right now, number 4. You can see Cabot there in the huddle. But this is where Het earns his money. He comes up with some plays at times he needs them.
7 championship rings for the coach between D2 and D3. And his counterpart, I'm sure, scheming away as well in that Portsmouth huddle.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
again,
of course, Chad Vischer, who's got 2 rings of his own.
Despite 9 goals, I think the Portsmouth defense has played pretty solid today. The first half, Derryfield was a step back on everything defensively, but they've come around in the second half. They've been very, very aggressive. Max Fowler has had a great game the entire game, but they've definitely been more aggressive out there. And you don't need to be a lacrosse savant to look at my scorecard with all the penalties in the second half to see it hasn't been a much more aggressive game.
So here we go. Derryfield in possession. They have trailed most of the night. In fact, the last time the game was tied, we were even at 3 late in the first quarter.
So the set is exactly reverse of what I said, but Ketchum is on that right side. So they got Kramer up top to start with Chili on this side, which is his deadly side, I think.
Here is Cabot. Draws the assignment of Schoen. Their standout defensive long pole. He's going to bring Schoen behind the cage. Now Cabot turns on the gas.
Ooh, bring Ketchum behind.
Reverses. Looks for a man in the middle, but the pass is off target. And we have a violation. It's going to go against Derryfield. That'll give it back to Portsmouth at a crucial time here, just over a minute.
All right, just get it behind goal line extended. There are no timeouts for either team. They're going to have to keep it in the box, so get it behind and kill the clock. That's all you need to do, Portsmouth.
Give him a keep away here for the final 50 seconds.
Go 10-man. They're on the 10-man here, so you see the goalies out of the net.
Yep.
They're going to double up, and this is what you do, boys. You got to run. You cannot stand still and wait to get pinched.
This is Catino.
Good luck. This is the guy. Keep going, kid. All right, now
we get a timeout.
There is no timeout.
Coach Vischer, I believe, had 1 left.
Well, you know what? It was when the kid got injured. It was when Patterson got injured. We thought that was a timeout, but it was an injury timeout by the ref. He didn't make the move, but I got you. Yep.
That was back in the third quarter.
Yeah,
so
exactly. So
in the end, Coach Vischer will use his final timeout here with just inside of 34 seconds remaining. Well, we saw a moment ago what Derryfield was willing to do, and that's pull the goaltender, Liebitz, out of the cage, use him as an extra defender. But the problem is
you don't got the ball now.
You don't have the ball, and Briggs Catino is about as fast as they come. Able to burn, over 20 seconds, almost 25 seconds.
Yep.
By himself there a moment ago just before the timeout.
You're not going to see him with the ball this time. You're going to see Zach Amend with the ball. Zach's going to run from this side to the highway and back, and he's going to kill the clock. And you'll never see, unless he sees opening and for some reason he's getting doubled and he sees a free guy get loosened up from an adjacent cover, he's just going to, you probably won't even see him come to the top of the box.
He's going to run all the way back to the seacoast.
I would do it. That's what I would do if I could run. Too bad knees.
They've got a few of these speedsters, so a few
They
different
do.
options, I'm sure.
Yeah, but Coutinho did his job, and
Yeah.
he ran hard. And he got beat up a little bit, which is expected when you're in this situation. But I expect to see Zach or maybe even an attackman, patting with the ball here. But where's 24? They're going to park him. They're going to park him on the crease. Maybe they're going to go for something here.
Well, that's a man. He's hanging around the cage.
Yeah, and they're going to give it back to Coutinho.
Yep.
He earned the ball back. So
Yep.
here you go, kid. Take
Coach
it and go.
Fisher showing some trust.
Yeah, he should be in the box right now.
So the junior going to restart here. He's got 2 Cougars in the area. Going to come back middle.
He stepped out. He did. That's a good call.
Wow.
He stepped out.
Yep.
He absolutely stepped out.
Okay,
with
so
a great foot.
the stall warning was in effect there.
It should have been in effect when the whistle blew. He
Right.
shouldn't have been allowed to stay out of the
So the
box.
violation gives Derryfield another chance, 15 seconds. Quick shot and a quick save by Patterson. Sticks out his stick to the left and reels it in. Clock continuing to run, but this
look
one
at
is
this.
knocked down. Down the middle, it's picked up by Grunbeck. We're down to 4 seconds. Pass out in front, knocked away, and then it rolls about a foot wide of the net, and that is how the game is going to end. Portsmouth hangs on here in Manchester. They're going to win by a final score of 10-9. It's their 12th win. They remain undefeated after handing the Cougars their 2nd loss of the season. What a game here as we get a look at that wild finish.
Wow. Look at the backspin on this ball. Incredible.
Patterson with a huge sigh of relief there, as that one could have been disastrous for Portsmouth.
Wow.
Instead, it's one of those occasions where Derryfield says, an inch or so the other direction, we'd be going to OT. But
Yeah.
this one ends in regulation, and it ends as a 10-9 final and another win for Coach Fisher and the Clippers.
What is one of the most overused terms in sports, I think, is the instant classic moniker. But, I mean, these teams, they seem to come up with these games every single time we're here or in Portsmouth, and we come away exhausted because we just never know. It's always like this, too. There's been fewer occasions that we've done these two teams that we've had maybe a 4-goal span, if I can remember, in 4 years we've been together. So, Great comeback by Derryfield, though. I mean, they really put it to it in the second half here.
A lot to get to when we come back. Full recap, stats, highlights, analysis, out-of-town scoreboard, which includes Bishop Girton and Zarian Brothers. More in a moment. Portsmouth wins 10-9 over Derryfield. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another athletic program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
in, and it appears that they were shut down their two top guns. Key to that, and why Derryfield was able to recoup from an 8-4 halftime deficit and come back.
What do you got for final stats, particularly goals, not goals, saves for both goaltenders, and the battle at the face-off X where Nick Smith was phenomenal?
Yeah, and I think Coach Hatt's going to like this because Parker Leibowitz, he really rose. He had 12 saves all told, and it doesn't sound like a lot in lacrosse, but when the ball is whizzing by the cage all the time.
And he seemed to get better as the game went on.
He absolutely did, and he had some big saves, too. So he was 12, and I have Patterson was 7. But the big thing, and, God, we sound like a broken record sometimes, the face-off. I have 12, 15, 19 for Portsmouth. And I have 3 for Derryfield.
Yeah.
Okay, so they just did not neutralize the face-off circle. And the score really isn't indicative of how lopsided that was.
Right.
I mean, you would have expected like a BG, game with a 15-3 or something like that when that kind of domination at the X occurs. But it didn't happen here today.
Well, this one was a fun one for sure, and we may or may not get a rematch between these two teams before it's all said and done. I know there's some other contenders in Division II that may object to that, including Timberlane. Wyndham has played well.
Wyndham's right there.
St. Thomas has played well.
St. Thomas.
But in the minds of many, these are the two front runners again in Division II.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have more to say about that maybe down the road about how we equalize some of that talent for the upper divisions, and because it's clear that those 4, 5, 6 teams in Division II, they can compete with just about anybody, and we're going to see that with Portsmouth. Both of these teams, by the way, they have light schedules going through the rest of the season, as far as I can tell. Both of them play Division I teams. I think Derryfield's got Concord coming up, and Portsmouth has got Londonderry.
Right.
And we just did the Londonderry game, and they played pretty damn good against Pinkerton. So that ought to be an interesting matchup as well.
All right, Roger, at last look, Bishop Girton led Zavarian Brothers by a score of 10-4 after 3.
10-4 after 3. Okay.
So a dominant lead for the Cardinals with 12 minutes left, but that, again, was kind of an outdated update, so to speak. So that game may be final.
Yeah.
It may not be. But either way, through 3 quarters, Coach Cameron's Cardinals looking pretty good against a perennial power in Zavarian Brothers.
Yeah, and I mentioned to you off camera that Zavarian
by the way, 11-7 final.
11-7 final. Okay, that's more. Yeah, and good. That must have been a good game. Zavarian probably put something together there at the end. Zavarian beat Boston College high, as we mentioned off camera, and they got BG has BC at the end of the season. They've also got Acton Boxborough coming up.
Right.
That's going to be the game.
They're always tough. Right?
That's going to be the game that's going to define their season for out-of-state games, I think, moreover than maybe Staples, where they took that loss early on. Mm. Early on, as opposed to later in the season when they racked up 17 against Exeter last week. I mean, who'd have thought that was going to happen? But they're on cruise control again.
Yep, in D1, of course.
Yeah, in D1.
This was a great game tonight. We appreciate Coach Hetler, who's also, of course, the athletic director here at the Derryfield School, for not only accommodating. Excuse me. It's been a long day. But also willing to make sure that this one was under the lights tonight and on camera. So we appreciate that.
He did.
Of course, working with Tom Gazlowski, the athletic director at Portsmouth, to make that happen.
We need the other ADs out there in NHIAA to do a little bit more of that and move games around.
I like the primetime feel, especially under the lights, it's
well, from a selfish standpoint,
bit, for sure.
From a selfish standpoint, for you and I and what we do and love to do and would like to do more of, because we actually have daytime jobs, it would be nice for the fans to be able to attend more of these games.
Right. And they turned out today, too, by the way. This place was packed.
It always is.
Always is.
Because of what we just said. This AD, Kozlowski from Portsmouth, they do a great job of moving mountain earth so that these games can be put under lights. And we need to see more of that. We just do.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank Coach again, for sure, and the rest of his staff here at the Derryfield School. Of course, none of this happens without the hard work of our two videographers. That's Kat Doyle and Josh Lebrecht getting here early, making sure everything is connected and ready to go. And, of course, the man behind the curtain puts it all together every night. That's our director, the Wizard of Replay, Ben Beals, back in the Beals Insurance Studios. The whole thing overseen by the big man in the big chair. That's the executive producer, Steve Beals, down in the Sunshine State. For Roger Howe, my name is Nick Anastas saying so long. We'll see you Monday in Bedford as we get a rematch between the Bulldogs and the Exeter Blue Hawks. Final score here for the final time. Portsmouth 10, Derryfield 9. This has been a presentation of our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance.